Hey, everybody. Welcome to VIE Speaks, Conversations with Heart and Soul. I'm getting super excited to have my last interview of the day with a good friend, colleague, a credible interior designer, Susan Lovelace. I've known for 29, 30 years. It's been a relationship unlike most in business and one that I'm very thankful for. She's amazingly influential, inspirational, talented, and she is somebody that I admire greatly. Susan, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you,
You're
Lisa.
welcome.
And I just want to say that every time I'm stuck, every time I don't know what to do for 30 years, who do I call? I call you.
Oh, wow. You're so sweet.
It's true.
Oh, well, it's such a good history that we have together, and we've been through a lot. And when I first moved here 31 years ago and went into Clements Antiques, you were working there, and
Yes.
that was before you even had opened Lovelace Interiors. So when you think about what it was like back then, and it was great. It was a great life. And then you were working there, and I remember you would have like all these papers and like writing and books because when you were working there, you were studying for your exam for becoming a licensed interior designer.
Yes.
And at that point in time, I don't even think you had the plans drawn out yet for your flagship store in Miramar Beach, Lovelace Interior. Had that even been?
No,
No.
that was 90, probably 92. I started thinking about it and planning it, and it was built pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But it was actually, we moved in 1994.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's right about the same time. And, you know, what you built there, our area hadn't seen a building like that before. It was so grand. New Orleans, you brought some New Orleans charm to our area, a beautiful building, standing proudly and tall, and forging your business in cutting terrain in this area that had never been seen before. You were the largest showroom at the time.
I know. We were
And
the biggest building
the
and
biggest building.
surrounded by trees.
Yes.
Forest.
Yes. And your showroom has always been beautiful. You are the consummate tastemaker. You've been published in Veranda magazine, several other magazines. What are they, like Coastal Living?
Yes, coastal
Coastal
living many times.
Show Home, and then you've done VIE Show Homes with us. You've been a
Yes.
partner on over the years. Widely accredited, respected, and awarded, like many, many awards to your credit. And it's so inspiring to know that you did that on your own and you wanted to do something for yourself and for your family. And Sparky, your husband, who's passed a couple of years ago, sadly for you and our entire community, because he was a beacon of Southern gentility and goodness. And you are an amazing person to have been able to be such a good caregiver
Thank
and
you.
friend to him. And just like watching you just do all of that, it shows great character and great strength.
Thank you.
And you went through, you know, tough times, and like life ebbs and flows, and we go through really great times, and then we have to go through some difficult times. And I'm really proud that I wasn't sure if you were going to come back and work because you didn't have to. And you have a rich, robust life with 6 boys and grandkids and daughter-in-law and lots and lots of friends.
Yes.
And your home in Churchill Oaks and your beautiful farm, 130, 140 acre farm.
About 136.
And it's nicknamed your Nirvana.
Nirvana.
Nirvana
Yes.
from you. But really, what is the real name of the farm?
Double S Horse Farms.
Okay. And when did you buy that?
It will be 12 years ago.
Okay.
So 12,
Yeah.
2012, I
Okay.
think,
Yes.
2011.
And then your passion for horses and a love for all things equestrian as well. So you are just a fascinating person to me. And I am so proud of the legacy that you built. We're so proud to have worked for you over the years with the Idea Boutique and marketing, and also featured you in the magazine, and you partnering with us all these years. So It is one of my great joys and happiness about having my own company is that forging friendships and um, partnerships with people for a really long time, and it just makes life all the better.
It does.
And so we've had so much fun. What was it, the catalyst that made you sort of decide maybe a year and a half or 2 years ago that you were not ready to put down the interior design gauntlet, and Lovelace Interiors was still going to proudly be seen in our area?
Well, I think I was healing, of course. I
Mhm.
went through some really, really difficult, tough years.
Mhm.
And after I lost my husband, Sparky,
Yeah.
and I just, I just began to get some, strength, gain
Mhm. Mhm.
strength and hope. And I had projects, big projects,
Yeah. Well, that'll keep you
and
working.
they
You need to finish them,
exactly.
right?
I had to finish them.
Right.
So I kind of thought, well, I'll finish these projects that I'm working on,
Mhm.
and who knows what will be next. And of
Right.
course, they're not finished because with COVID, with
Mhm.
the pandemic, and then things taking a year, you couldn't get your
Right.
refrigerator, you couldn't get a
Mhm.
Sub-Zero, you couldn't
Right.
get a fabulous stove.
Mhm.
The things our clients wanted couldn't, it was a year wait or
Mhm.
longer.
Mhm.
So things lagged in, my business and in my profession, and we were kind of at a standstill. So I just kind of hung in there, and I think it was a good thing.
Yeah, I
I
did
think
too.
it was healing, and I think when the world opened back up, I was ready to go.
Mhm.
And I'd rested, but I was the caregiver, and it had
Yes.
been a really tough, um, really year and a half from
Mhm.
diagnosis till I
Mhm.
lost my husband.
Mhm.
And I didn't think about anything but him
Mhm.
then,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
then so about 2.5 years, I
Mhm.
was just not in a really great place. But now I'm healing, and this was a couple years ago, and I'm like, well, I can't just ride a horse all day long. I'm getting older. I wasn't showing horses anymore. I spent
Uh-huh.
a lot of years. You can stay very busy showing
Yes.
horses. You can
Yes.
spend all your time and all your money.
Right.
Realized that it was time for me. I took a couple of kind of difficult falls off of a 17-foot huge Irish sport horse I did dressage on. He bolted, and I hurt myself. And when I got better, I thought, I think I'll just ride my 3 quarter horses.
Right. Oh my gosh. I didn't know you were
Oh,
riding
yeah.
a horse that big.
Oh, yeah.
And is that horse, is that stabled in
N
the farm, at the farm?
Oh, no. I
No.
sold
Oh,
him
okay.
to a younger girl,
Okay.
and my trainer said he did bolt a few other people who were very professional, good riders.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Why is
he
he a
was a
bad boy?
sweet, wonderful horse. He was just kind of a bad boy that everybody loved. But it was cute because Jody Kelly, my horse trainer, said to me, well, does that make you feel better?
Mm.
She's kind of an interviewer, like,
Uh-huh.
asks
Uh-huh.
me questions like you would. And I'm like, yeah,
Yes.
because I was in a wheelchair for
I,
about 8 weeks,
I didn't know
and a potty
this.
chair by the bed. Yeah, it was a crazy thing.
What did
I
you
got
break?
back on him after that, and he
Oh,
did it again. I
he did not.
wasn't hurt quite as bad that time.
So what did you break?
I had compression fractures. It wasn't. I
Oh,
was very lucky,
okay.
and I don't really want to dwell on it,
Yeah,
but because
okay.
I love horses and I
Yeah.
loved him,
Yeah.
but I just thought a professional needed to ride him, which
Yes.
is true.
Right.
But I don't know what
What's his name?
his name was. Grenadier, and his nickname was Wally, and I
Oh.
called him Walladeer. He was a magnificent,
Oh
beautiful
my gosh.
Irish sport
I
horse.
want to see a picture of this horse if you
Oh,
have
he's
one.
gorgeous. I do. I'll show you.
Okay. Oh my gosh. So when did you get into all things equestrian?
Oh, goodness. It's been about 16 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. I
So
had wanted to. I had ridden as a child
yeah.
and not, I didn't have the discipline. I just
Mhm.
rode and
Mhm.
loved them. And I love all animals. You
Mhm.
know, I've
Yes.
always had 3 dogs,
Yes.
several cats,
Yeah.
anything that would come home with me,
Right.
I'd rescue and
Yes.
have live with me.
Uh-huh.
And I even had a parrot. Um, but anyway, when my youngest son graduated,
Mhm.
I don't remember, I guess from college,
Mhm.
when our youngest son, I bought a horse. I
Okay.
finally could.
Okay. Wow.
I
Yep.
had a little bit of extra money.
Mhm.
Little did I know the cheapest thing about buying a horse is buying it.
Right. Right. Yes, they do cost money.
So then it just became a serious passion. I mean,
Mhm.
it always was, but I got to do it.
Right.
And
So,
everybody thought I was crazy.
yeah, or lucky.
Yeah,
I think a
very
lot of I
lucky.
think a lot of people
And
thought
then,
you were lucky,
yeah, and
not
I've
crazy.
probably owned 8, 9, 10 horses.
Really?
I bought some that I loved. They
Uh-huh.
just weren't necessary. Then I'd change a discipline. You
Okay.
know, I bought a reiner, and then and I always bought big, huge, strong, fabulous horses that were way too much for me.
Wow. So, and did you have the same trainer for
No,
yourself?
I've had different
Okay.
trainers for
Okay.
each discipline.
Oh,
I jumped Frank Sinatra. I was a
okay.
jumper,
Yeah.
hunter jumper, and that was Bart. And then Jody Kelly was my dressage trainer. But I started out Western,
Okay.
and Jason Patrick was my trainer
Okay.
in
Which of
Colorado.
those disciplines were your favorite?
Jumping.
Jumping.
Jumping Frank Sinatra is my very favorite.
Yes.
Dressage is a wonderful, wonderful equestrian sport, but it is so hard. I mean,
Mhm.
you have no idea what it takes.
Mhm.
I mean, people,
Yeah.
it's 5 I trained 4 days a week,
Mhm.
and I wasn't good.
Wow. Wow. How long do you have to train to get good? I mean, is that
Oh,
like almost like a
years.
lifeline?
Well, like my trainer, she started as a child,
Okay.
Jody Kelly, and
Mhm.
she's a consummate professional. I mean,
Mhm.
they're professional. There's a big difference in amateur
Mhm.
horse equestrians like me
Mhm.
and professionals.
Mhm. Mhm.
The
Well,
professionals know what they're doing.
mhm.
My friend is a cutting horse
Okay.
professional trainer. You know,
Yes.
was he was. He's no
Yes.
longer doing that, but there's a difference in the way
Mhm.
these people,
Live
yeah,
and
and ride.
breathe and ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, which you probably it's a lifestyle,
It
right?
is. It will, and
It,
it's a job.
yeah, it's a
You
job.
know, it's a
Hmm.
serious job.
Right. So was that one of the reasons that you ended up purchasing the farm was for the
Yes,
horses? Okay.
for the
All
horses.
right. And it's a beautiful place for the horses to be.
Yeah, I just didn't. I always took them to Colorado during the summer
Okay.
in case there was a storm because it is can be a big problem. You know.
Right. Evacuating.
Yeah, and I'm not
Mhm.
leaving them. So,
Mhm.
uh, we sold our home in Colorado because I took them out there for 6 months out of the year. Every
Okay.
summer, I took them for 5 months.
Okay.
They'd leave in May, and then they'd come home in October, about
Wow.
the 10th of October. And
That's
then
a
I
whole.
went out there too. I
Okay.
sort of semi-retired
Right.
and went out there and rode all the time.
Hmm.
Loved
That
it.
must have been really amazing
It was
to be
wonderful.
there. Yeah.
It was. It was wonderful. But then we sold the home in Colorado, and I said, I have to have a farm because they have to live with me.
Mm-hmm. And now they don't go they stay there
They
year
stay
round.
there.
Okay.
They're
Yeah.
retired there.
Yeah.
They're fat and happy.
That's great.
They have a great life.
Yes. And Frank Sinatra was he was hurt,
He
right?
was
But
injured.
has he mended completely?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, um, he had suspensory surgery on both of his back legs.
Okay.
We're not sure exactly what happened, but Dr. Reed Hansen at Auburn is just a
Mhm.
dear friend now
Mhm.
and saved his life
Oh.
and did the surgery. And he had some complications. And so he has a little arthritis and
Mhm.
he just a big,
But he's happy.
oh, he's
He's so
happy.
happy.
Oh, they're so happy.
Yeah, that's so how could they not be happy?
They're very happy.
Well, we're getting excited here in the office because we are going to be spending the day with you next Friday all day photographing your farm for an
Yes.
upcoming feature in V Magazine. And we're really excited about that. And just being there, we'll be working, but it won't feel like work because I've told everybody here in the office like how absolutely gorgeous the farm is. And I don't even know what it looks like now because you've retrofitted it since the
Hmm.
last time that I've
I
seen
have.
it. So I can only imagine how magnificent it's going to be. I can't wait.
Thank you. It is. It's kind of been susified, zhuzhed up.
Susified, juiced up.
I
Yes,
juiced it up.
you juiced it. I love it. Oh
It
my gosh.
started out looking like a man's hunting camp. It does
Ah,
not look like that anymore.
oh, yes. Okay. Well, it did look
And I
like,
loved it then.
yes. Okay. I cannot wait to see this. So be looking forward for that, everybody, because it's going to be something like nobody has ever seen before. Like, to say it's a gentleman's farm would be an understatement because it's really, what is it now? It's really a susu farm,
Yeah,
right?
it's a. I don't know. I don't even know. We need to figure out
We
what
need
we
to
call
figure
it.
out what we're going to call
Yes.
her right now because she's all like done over, right?
Yes.
So exciting. So we
Nirvana, maybe.
Nirvana. Yes. Um, and we just finished what only less than 3 weeks ago, we were all together here in the office with your team and yourself photographing a magnificent home in Alys Beach on
Yes.
the Gulf that Lovelace Interiors and your team retrofitted for dear friends and owners that you've done 5 homes with.
Yes.
And tell a little bit about the backstory, starting out with the point of which we were talking about earlier, which is, growing a business has a lot of components to it. You have to be, you have to know your profession. You have to be skilled and trained and certified to be everything that you can bring to your clients. And you are, like I had said many times, the consummate tastemaker and an excellent interior designer. And I mean, just like an unsurpassed taste, just like
Thank
look
you.
at like I can't even stop looking at you all the time. So many things to look at that are beautiful.
Thank you.
And you're welcome. So without without clients, you can't have a business, right?
Correct.
And how did you go about growing your clientele basically from day one?
Well, our network, our
Mm-hmm.
friends.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't hurt that when Tom Christ and then Sparky and I built our burnt pine home, it was
Gorgeous.
beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
and it did have that amazing spread and veranda.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, your medium being published
Mm-hmm.
is kind of a key
It
thing.
is key.
But I was very fortunate.
Mm-hmm.
My first job when I came down, when we moved here, was Sparky dabbled in the oil business, and it was one of his investors,
Mm.
the Crosbys,
Mm-hmm.
and they hired me to do their condominium. They had bought a beautiful condominium, and it just started going.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's so interesting that it's your friends, your network, people you meet, people that think you're talented and a good person and a professional and honest. These people, my hairdresser that
Mm-hmm.
did my hair, Iris Freshwater, she's still a friend. They live in North Carolina now. But she was my hairdresser down in Destin.
Mm-hmm.
And she told Mrs. Lee of Lee Jeans, who's passed away, who
Mm-hmm.
was a wonderful, wonderful friend and client, about me.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing I know, I'm doing Mrs. Lee's 2 homes for her.
Wow.
I would do one, and then they'd hire me to go do their house in, like her, Monroeville, Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
So many of my clients, I did their homes here, and then all of a sudden I'm in LA, or I'm in Aspen, or I'm in Memphis, several in Memphis, just all over,
Mm-hmm.
because they liked
Mm-hmm.
how we did business.
Mm-hmm.
They liked that we could finish a project. And I did want to say, one of the reasons I opened that big flagship store
Mm-hmm.
was for my clients,
Mm-hmm.
because it was very hard
Mm-hmm.
to do projects
Mm-hmm.
when you work as a freelance designer. It's hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's an arduous profession.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that everything was at my fingertips, my resource room, you remember
Yes,
that,
yes.
which we have a private
Mhm,
office
mhm,
that's separate from our Inlet Beach store.
Mm-hmm.
So it puts it at your fingertips. So you can complete a job. You can give the client what they want. you can get your hands on it
Mhm.
so easily.
Mhm.
And the store made that just all happen. And then it grew. And I cannot tell you, there's probably 20 clients that I've done 5 homes for,
Mhm.
more, 5 at least.
Mhm.
Maybe it might be 15, but
Mhm.
it's probably, 20.
Yeah.
And now the girls are working with them. We've
Mhm.
done their boats. I haven't done a plane. That would be really fun.
Well, I'm sure it will happen.
But anyway, I
Yeah.
honestly think they liked our integrity, our professionalism,
Mhm.
and we could finish the
Mhm.
project.
Mhm.
And it's hard to do that.
It is. It is hard to do that, but yeah, it was a really big machine that
It
you had
was.
in that
I
flagship.
don't miss
Yes,
it.
which, for context, for the listeners, you just sold that particular bricks and mortar building a year ago or
It'll
less?
be 2
Okay, 2
years.
years.
Wait, year and a half ago.
Okay.
2 years we closed, maybe.
Mhm.
I don't know. I have a real problem with
Yeah,
time
yeah.
since the
Yes, yes.
pandemic and my
Yes.
husband's illness. I
Yes.
really do.
I think we all do.
Yeah.
Don't feel
It's
bad.
like, what year was
Don't feel bad.
that? What
Yes.
year was that?
It all kind of smushed together. But you do have a bricks and mortar store still in Inlet Beach.
Yes.
Yes, Lovelace
Lovely.
Interiors Beach,
Perfect
and it's
size.
perfect size and beautiful. So the clients can still get that treatment, but then again,
Right.
you can still do whatever you need to do anywhere in the world. And talk about some of the very fabulous things that you did in Beverly Hills and the share story and all that
Okay.
kind of
Well, I
stuff.
do want to say we have a beautiful resource room, and our base of operations
And in
is across. It's in
yes,
Miramar
Miramar
Beach.
Beach,
I
right?
actually lease space from my
Okay.
son's. He owns the office. It's Main Sale Realty's office, and he's always leased space from me. And a
No,
couple years ago, I started leasing from him there.
that's great.
So that's where our base of operations is. So we do still have the resources,
Yes,
the things you need,
right.
but we just don't have as
The showroom,
many at the showroom.
right. That's good.
So you asked me,
About your Beverly Hills
oh,
stints and
yes, a client, actually a friend of mine. I went to Stevens College in Missouri. She was a friend there, and she bought the house that Greg Allman and Cher built.
mhm,
Well, Cher and Greg Allman.
mhm.
And came, and I was at Clements then. We took an 18-wheeler,
Oh,
and I worked on the house for a year.
wow.
And yeah, my border collie hardly knew me that year because I was traveling. I really was. I
Wow.
was doing a house in Natchitoches, Louisiana, Monroeville, Memphis, uh, Ocean Reef. I
Mhm,
mean, it
mhm.
was
Yeah,
it was pretty crazy. And then I don't think I did a show home that year, but I really
yeah,
was in the air,
yeah.
you know.
Yes. Yeah.
But it was a really big project,
Mhm,
and it I had helped her through the years. She's
mhm,
an amazing woman,
mhm,
beautiful taste. And her husband passed away, but she's still, you know, doing beautiful homes, and
mm,
um, she has a designer that helped her. She did a condominium there, and I was not able to help with that.
mhm,
Sparky was ill, and
mhm.
it was I
Yeah,
couldn't
not
do
the
it
right
again.
time.
Well,
Yes.
yeah, it was just big and
Yeah.
gonna take projects take 3 years now.
Yeah, they do.
It's like, do I have 3 years?
Right, right.
That and it's intense.
It is
As I said,
intense.
it's very arduous work.
Mhm. And you do still, even to this day, work in Colorado too, or Aspen or
I'm
somewhere?
helping
Yeah.
my dear friend.
Mhm.
We've been updating her beautiful mountain house.
Mhm.
I call it her mountain mansion right in Aspen.
Mhm.
And so she's had it many years, but it's now her home.
Okay.
And she lost her husband, and so she left it. You don't even do upkeep
Mhm.
when you're
Mhm.
not in the right place.
Right.
So
Right.
anyway, I've been helping her,
That's fun.
and it's fun.
Yeah,
It's
that's
girl
really fun.
fun.
Right.
I'm going out there next week, actually.
When? After the photo shoot?
Right after.
Oh, right after.
Tuesday after I'm
Oh,
leaving to go
wow.
help her. And this time
Okay.
I'm like arranging kitchen cabinets and
Ah.
I think my friend's going to do the garage. We're going to help her do some
Okay.
things.
Oh, that's so fun.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And we're going to play and have fun and hike and
Play and work
work.
play. Work
Yes.
play.
Sit on the porch.
Yes. Well, recently too, we went to New Orleans with you and got to feature. Well, we will be featuring that home in the August issue from your home in New Orleans that you had just finished fairly
Yeah.
recently. And that's beautiful. And the photos came out terrific. And we're looking forward to putting that in there along with the farm and thinking about those three things: the home that we just did on the Gulf, your home in Churchill Oaks, which we featured in Home by V a couple of years ago, and even your partnership with Jeff Chick Architects and Emeralds Coastal,
Yes.
and that is in the book Cook right now. When you just like list off those 4 or 5 things and you see the prolificness of your capabilities and what you are doing, you are more than still in the game. You are the game. I mean, that's a lot
I do
going on. And
love.
I know that what I just said was literally a small fraction of what you have going on right now. Um, tell the story of how you met the person, the homeowner of the home that we just did in Alys Beach several years ago, and how that relationship turned into 5 homes.
Well, you know, it just came to me. This was years ago when they hired me to do their house at Watersound that you featured.
Yes.
They read my biography on our website,
Uh-huh.
and they live in Kansas City, Missouri now. They don't like to be mentioned, so I won't do
Yeah.
that. But they read that I had gone to Stevens College, and they love Stevens College. If you're well, you don't have to be from that part of the
Yeah.
world. It's a very good school,
Right.
and it's back then was mostly creative.
Uh-huh.
And you couldn't get a degree in interior design then,
Mm-hmm.
but fashion design.
Mhm.
It's a typical college now, 4 years, but it was really everybody brought their horse to Stevens. It was just a wonderful school, and I was very fortunate that I got to go to school there.
Right.
And they read that. They read everything, but then they went, "Oh my goodness, she's in Missouri. Oh, she went to Stevens, you know." So they contacted me. They were interviewing designers, and we hit it off. We did. And so they hired me, and I was there day one with the architect on that job, which took 3 years. There were different complications on that. And it just grew from there. And that's how it goes. If people stick with you, like I've stuck with you.
Yes.
I've never called anybody else.
Yes. Thank you for sticking with me. I appreciate that.
From day one.
Yes.
I mean, you're the idea.
Yeah.
I don't have those ideas. My ideas are,
for the home.
I'm looking at that Ashley Long, I'm not having ideas.
Well, that's a creative skill set that you have big time. So, I mean, you're unbelievable. I remember way back when I first moved to town, and you used to have your coveted Christmas party events.
Of 100 people.
Of 100 people, right? And it would be like a couple of days before Christmas, right?
It was Christmas Eve.
It was Christmas Eve. And I was somewhat, new to town, but I knew quickly that if you got an invitation to Susan Lovelace's party at your home, the Christmas Eve, you were in high society in our area. If you did not you were out.
I don't know if that's
You don't know.
I think everybody was invited the one to come because they were there.
No, you really needed to get an invitation to go.
If you were mature, if you were an adult.
Yes.
Not with my boys' friends.
Yes, but I mean, they were fabulous, and I think you gave you have a gifts. I mean,
well, Memorial Day we also had one.
Yes, so you were a huge socialite you were doing.
I loved entertaining them.
Yeah, and then
cooking and
all that entertaining too. And then you were able to show your skill set of how beautiful your home was too, and that really. I know you did it for the sheer entertainment of it, and you're like your hospitality is just amazing, and you like doing that. But I know it showed off how good you are at your craft as well. So that could not have hurt. But anyway, and so you
Well,
say,
I'm thinking of a couple of things. Number one, when you have 6 boys in a blended family
Mhm.
and you raise them from the time, they were young, some were older,
Mhm.
it was a way that I could make them not beat each other up, put on nice clothes, and be gentlemen, and we'd have a lovely Christmas. So I started having a party, and the party kept growing.
Yes.
And then when we moved to the Burnt Pine house, the house was bigger, the party grew.
Mhm.
But honestly, it was to teach my boys to be
Etiquette?
gentlemen.
Oh, it was the
Etiquette,
etiquette
to be
party. Okay.
gentlemen, which their,
They are.
father insisted on and bought
Yes.
them all books of
Yes.
how to be a gentleman. There's
Right.
one in my guest bedroom by the bed.
Mhm.
But because they were beasts, they were,
That's funny.
15 to
Yeah.
21,
Well,
22
that's
with a
what
bunch of
happens.
boys,
Yes, that's
So I had to really kind of set parameters and do things to keep us civilized there.
that's great. And then did you say some of them met their wives at these
Yes,
parties?
yes. 2 of the boys have been married long time
Mhm.
since then.
Mhm.
And
They met?
they met their first date was at the Christmas party, and then Andy's brother Clayton met his wife because he was getting married at his engagement party. So a lot of
Yes.
great things came out
Yes.
of that Christmas party
Yes. You should have
in
another
our
one.
family. I should. I don't know.
Yeah, it would be a lot of work. But
No,
boy, that would be a good party to
it
go
would be a
to.
good
I would
party.
definitely want to go
It
to
was
that party.
fun, and it was Christmas Eve, but people came.
Yeah, they did. Because it was what I just said. You were in or you were out. So that's what it was for sure.
Oh, I didn't know that. I don't think I knew that.
You might not have. Who's going to tell you? The other people that are on the out going to tell you? No, I don't think they're going to tell you.
They
So
just won't speak to me.
yeah, that was going to happen.
I'm sorry to anyone that you could have
Well, you
come.
can't invite everybody to go. Your house wouldn't fit it, although it was a very large house.
But too, it started when there were not very many people in Destin, and we were in Sandestin,
Mhm.
and our friend, we didn't. It was a small group of people,
Yeah.
and then Destin kept growing and
Yes,
growing, and then
yes.
our friends, we got more, and there
Yeah.
were more and more
Yes,
friends.
yes, but
So we first did it just to have something fun to do,
yes.
and then this place,
Yeah.
exploded.
Yeah. Well, you did it for many years, I think,
Yeah,
right?
we did.
Yeah. So we've touched on this before, just talking in the past regarding um, what kind of changes are in various businesses. My own business too, and marketing has changed so much. We talk about that. The marketing of old, some things still are relevant, some things are not. Social media and all of that is so front and center right now, and more videos and updating all your websites and photography. It's definitely different. But back then, even when we were working 25 years ago, we were still doing the events like the Candle in the Wind
Yes.
Gala that was at Marina Cafe, and it benefited the
AIDS.
yeah,
Elton
yeah,
John's
right,
had a
right,
foundation.
and that event raised a very good amount of money back then,
Yeah, I think
35,000,
it was around 35,000.
to for you and
And Donna
Lovelace,
Burgess painted the beautiful
the
Candle
beautiful
in the Wind
painting
painting.
that was
We
auctioned
auctioned
off,
that off.
and so many things. It was a very magical time back then. And then, all that's gone on since. So, Susan, we've talked in the past, and I think just for like a little bit of a setup for education purposes, to talk about a little bit about the difference between ASID, licensed interior designers, and what you're bringing forth in your profession. Can you just give us like a quick snapshot about what that is and like what you had to do to get there?
Sure. It's 4 years of school, 5. If you go to Auburn, you can get a master's in interior design, and then you're required to work with a licensed professional designer,
Mhm.
which I am,
Mhm.
for 3 years.
Mm.
So you can go and take a 16-hour exam, which is the NCIDQ exam.
Mhm.
And when you do that, you can apply to be a licensed interior designer in your state. Each state has different requirements,
Mhm.
but it's a lot. That's a lot. That's years. That's
Yes.
8 years of
Right.
your life before you can sit for this
Mhm.
exam.
Mhm.
So obviously you learned something
Right.
in those 8 years.
Mhm.
So I guess I think that, there's uh, barrier free, there's building codes, there's things you're taught that make you have a more professional, um,
Well-rounded.
well-rounded, but just a better understanding of how things work. It's
Mhm.
not just making things pretty.
Mhm.
It's making things safe. It's
Right.
making things, I believe in the elements and principles of design. I get stuck. I've been doing it for I'm not going to tell you how long because it would
'Cause
just
we wouldn't believe it.
you wouldn't
That's
believe it.
why.
Yeah. No, but so,
And what are the elements of design?
well, the elements are form, scale, color, texture, pattern, light. However, and I love that. That's a
Mhm.
basic.
Mhm.
The principles are the fun things: rhythm, balance, contrast, harmony,
Mhm.
tech, those things
Mhm.
that, like here, my eyes are looking at your art. You have such great rhythm going on in your studio.
Really? Oh, that
Oh,
makes me feel
yeah.
so
Yeah,
happy.
because when your eyes dance, it's like music. It's
Yeah.
like a waltz. It's
Oh,
like or it could be a hip hop,
right.
whatever,
Right.
but you want rhythm. And so all of the elements and principles you need to know that
Yes.
if you're doing this.
Mhm.
And you can read about them in a book.
Mhm.
But there's a lot. There's a
Yes.
lot of education
Right.
to be a commercial interior
Yes.
designer. Like I
Which you
can
are.
I
Yeah.
am, and I
Mhm.
could do a hospital. I
Mhm.
wouldn't because it's not my field.
Right.
I wouldn't be good at it. But I have done nursing homes,
Mhm.
and restaurants and
Mhm.
South Walton Utilities. But I mean,
Yes.
commercial, you have to have things that meet the barrier-free codes,
Right.
and you have to know what you're doing
Mhm.
with that. And it is very, you know,
It's a
it's a
profession.
science
Mhm.
almost.
Mhm.
It's a profession and
Mhm.
it's a science.
Mhm.
Doesn't make you maybe better, but it makes you have knowledge
Mhm.
that is very needed and valued by
Mhm.
a lot of people
Right.
and capable.
Well, knowledge is power. So
Right.
there's, that um, as well.
I
And
don't know if I would do it again,
yeah.
go through, because I took the exam, the NCIDQ exam, when I was building the store because I hadn't taken it. It's not
Mm. Mhm.
necessary.
Mhm.
You can
Mm.
have your degree and never
Yeah.
take that
Right.
exam. But I wanted to be able to train designers and
Mm.
have the young girls, they wouldn't have come to work for me.
Right.
And they have taught me so much. It
Mhm.
does take a village.
Mhm.
I love their energy. I love
Mhm.
what they've learned. They
Mhm.
learned different things than I did in school.
Mhm.
And so it just opened up my
Right.
world.
Right. Well, I'm glad you brought that up too, because I know that where you are right now in your story is that you feel very strongly about mentoring your team and building them as you always have, but even more now where you want them to be everything that they can be should
I
you
do.
decide to,
Work less.
work less. They can take the helm of under your stewardship and under your helming of Lovelace Interiors. But you love to inspire and encourage, and that I think is probably more than anything what makes you very very happy right now. And I know your team looks very happy all the time, and they're great. I do want to give a shout out to Lindsay Cannon and Karen
Kerns.
Kearns for working in tandem under your tutelage of that beautiful home that's in this issue in Alys
They're
Beach. They
amazing. I
are
said
amazing. And
they
they were a
are.
delight to work with.
Thank you.
Very much so.
They're such professionals and so talented and so kind,
Right.
and they've just got it going on.
They do.
They
And you have
do.
a talented team.
All of them.
All of them.
Cassett, Kara,
Cassidy. Yeah.
they're
Yeah,
amazing.
they are amazing. So you've built quite a legacy on so many fronts with friends, family, your business. What you decided to do 16 years ago when you got into purchasing and writing horses and everything that you've done. You've lived life.
They have.
You've lived life. You've enjoyed it, and you have a gusto for life, and you're fun, and you really are a testament to continuing to enjoy life, which I don't think a lot of people. I think people have to be sort of taught how to continue to enjoy life,
Right.
don't you think?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. And you know, I believe in women so much and our ability to our strength and our ability to get through obstacles and forge a new path and
Mhm.
think outside the box and all the things that women can do. But I also think that just don't give up because
Mhm.
you're getting older.
Mhm.
Now, I'm not saying you have to work. I
Mhm.
mean, if you don't have to work, fine,
Right.
but have
Right.
fun. Get up every day,
Yes.
work out,
Yes.
enjoy your family, your animal. I mean,
Mhm.
do things and
Mhm.
know that you can.
Yes.
That I have so many people that inspire me,
Mhm.
you know, and you
Yes.
never, never, ever give up.
Right. Well, on that note, this has been an amazing interview. Conversation actually, and I'm so glad that you are here in studio,
I'm glad to
Susan.
be here.
And it was fascinating.
I was
And
so comfortable.
I know, I knew you would be. I knew you would be. Thank you for absolutely everything, your friendship, all these years, and for believing in us all these years as well. And we hope we've served you
You have.
in the best possible capacity that we could. And I thank you.
I thank you.
Oh,
Love you.
love you, Susan. All right. Thank you for listening and watching today. And check out Lovelace Interiors and just learn a little bit more by flipping through the pages of the magazine. And stay tuned for a fabulous feature in the August issue of Susan's Farm. Have a good day, everybody. Bye bye.